Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Justin with the Away in the Wilderness channel. I'm just here in my kitchen today, and I wanted to go over this pack. As you saw in the intro, that couple clips was from a trip that one of my daughters and I went on just day before yesterday, and the trip did not work out. The plan was to go and do like a 2-day backpacking trip of a trail that's about 2.5 hours away from my house. And to be honest, what happened is I did not expect the trail conditions to be what they were. I thought it was still going to be early enough in the season. It has been heating up. We've had this trip planned for a few months now, and I thought it was still going to be early enough in the season to where it wasn't going to be that dry, it wasn't going to be that hot, there weren't going to be a ton of bugs, things like that. But we ran into all three. The temperature, actually in my car, the temperature said on the way out there, it was like 90 degrees. I'm not sure if that was accurate. It was definitely in the high 80s. I'm not sure if it got into the 90s or not, but I'm pretty familiar with this trail, especially one side of this trail. This trail is 15 miles one way, so the plan was to attempt to do out and back, so do 30 miles over the course of 2 days, 2.5 days, something like that. But when we got there, I think the first issue was that we got there pretty late. We didn't even head out there until later in the day. We got out there right around 7 o'clock or so, 7:30. And maybe it was even closer to 8 o'clock or so. Anyway, we didn't have much daylight. So I knew from the side of the trail that we started on where the water was going to be right off the bat. So we made it to this first destination, and there was no running water at all. There was a couple little puddles filled with tadpoles and things like that. So that was the first issue. There's a little waterfall not far after that. So I said, okay, well, let's push it to the waterfall. We'll see what's going on there. Completely dry. There was just a tiny bit of water just dripping, just a little drips here and there. So that was our first issue. We did find an area close to the river that we could get down to. But the problem was, if we would have kept hiking, I have done this trail in its entirety once before. I've done 10 miles of it another time, and I've done maybe 5 miles or less probably another 2 or 3 times, starting from the side that we started on this time, which, like I said, I was pretty familiar with. So what I did not want to do was continue hiking, and I didn't know if there was going to be water anywhere on the trail, because a lot of the trail is following this river, but it's very hard to get down to the water. I mean, you have like 8 feet, 10 feet down until you're kind of on a ridge. Sometimes you're way up, on a ridge. It's not possible to even get down to the river to collect water. So that was number one. So then it started getting dark, and we ran into a ton of bugs when we stopped. We were just completely swarmed. And it was way hotter, like I said, so I didn't want to be out there and just get completely bit up and just be completely miserable. I knew water was going to be an issue, so I decided to call the trip. We actually hiked back out. The 2.5 miles, I think, is what we hiked in, so 2.5 miles back in the dark, with our headlamps. It started to cool down a little bit, but so we hiked all the way out, and we ended up just driving home. And mind you, this trail is, like I said, about 2.5 miles away from my house. So it was just a botched trip, and it was something that I didn't expect, something I just wasn't ready for the trail conditions to be like that. I felt really bad because we had this trip planned, but that's just, I guess, the way it goes sometimes. I don't know. Let me know, have any of you guys ran into that, where you had to call a trip because of the conditions or things like that? We could have ended up, we could have suffered out there. We wouldn't have died, but it would have just been miserable, and I didn't want to go through that. I didn't want to put my daughter through that. So anyway, have you guys ever had to do that? I'd love to hear any kind of botched hiking trips, camping trips, bushcrafting trips that you've had to call off due to whatever the reason. Leave that in the comment section below. I'd love to hear that from you guys. If anything, to make me feel better. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, that's the truth. So the plan was on that hike to do a loadout of this bag here. And this is my hiking bag. This is the Gregory, I believe it's the Paragon. Yeah, the Paragon, and it's a 58 liter pack. I've had this pack for, man, probably closer to 4 years, something like that. And I've used it on a bunch of different hikes. But this is generally what I carry on longer type hikes. You know, I'm by no means a thru hiker. I'm by no means an ultralight backpacker, anything like that. I do like to go on hikes, but generally it's 5, 10, maybe 15 miles on a backpacking trip. I have done 30 miles in a day on this pack, but it was on a very flat trail, and it was pretty rough. But I have since, over the last few years, dialed this kit in to where it's a lot more lightweight than it was at that time. In fact, I just weighed this pack. This is with a full 32 ounce Nalgene filled with water and about 2.5 days worth of food and snacks in the bag also. And that came out to right at 19 pounds. So it's by no means, like I said, an ultralight backpack, but 19 pounds is very manageable. 19 pounds, this pack and the weight is no issue for me. And there's a lot more things that I keep in here than probably an ultralight backpacker would. And so anyway, I'm not going to take up too much more time. I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into it. I'm going to start from the top, right here in the brain. The only couple things that I have in here is just a little Rothko, I believe it's a jungle hat, maybe something like that. So being as I shaved my head, you know, over the last year and a half, I cut all my hair off. I don't want my head to get all sunburnt. I knew the sun was going to be out in that. And in here, in this little Kafaru pouch, this is just a deuce of spades shovel and some flushable wipes. Just, you know, obviously to use the bathroom. And that is the only thing that I have there up on the top. Moving along over here to the side pouches. On the right side of the pack here, in this pouch, I believe that is it. Yeah, that's it. Just my Cordage Be Free and just a small little mesh pouch, obviously to collect and purify your water. That's the only thing on that side, and I generally like to keep it that way. On the side pouches is just my water. And the only thing in this pocket over here is this 32 ounce Nalgene filled with water. That's it. And I obviously will have that filled even before I leave. And I like this little open area right here because you can reach back and grab that. And it's real convenient to keep that water bottle right there. So as you're hiking, you don't have to take off your bag or anything to get to your water. So I'll move over here to these hip pouches right here on the right side. And this is what I would have in here, you know, while I'm hiking. I just have my wallet. I have a small Anchor power bank for my phone, my headlamp and things like that, because I did recently put in a rechargeable headlamp, and they're both USB-C, so that's what this cable is here. And then an extra light source at night just for the campsite, and this is the Yuko, I don't know how to say it, Leski or something like that. It's just a small little flashlight, and then if you open it up, it's just kind of a little lantern. So that's in there, and the only other thing is my keys. And one of the things I always have on there is a small little, not P38, this is the bigger one, can't remember what it's called, but just a little can opener. That's it in that pouch. Over here in the other pouch is where I just keep a few snacks for the trail, so I have easy access. And right now I have one of these solely fruit jerky strips. Those things are really nice to have. And then a salted caramel energy gel pack. That is it in that pouch. But one of these pouches in the front is always dedicated to trail snacks. All right, getting into the pack now. Right on top, strapped to the top, is just my Thermarest Z-Lite. I love these things. I have a couple of them. My daughter actually has a Nemo, I don't know what they call theirs, but just an accordion style sleeping pad. Those things are great. They don't weigh very much. And I sleep, to be honest, I sleep better on those a lot of times than I sleep in some air mattresses. One of those being on my last trip, what I used, the Climate Static V, the regular Static V. I sleep a lot better on one of these Thermarests. Jumping right into the pack, right here on top, because we were expecting a little bit of rain, but not much. So I just have one of these Frog Tog, just the top only, for my rain jacket. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab both of these out right now. So in this pack, this is a Badger Claw Outfitters. I believe they sell this as a belt pouch, hip pouch, something to that effect, kind of nylon material, and it comes with a strap that you can use to carry it kind of as a sling around your waist or whatever you wanted to do with it. These things are awesome, and I got both of these actually at the same time. And this one, I'm not gonna go over the whole contents. I'm gonna make another video about this whole kit itself. This acts as a belt pouch if I wanted to go on a hike, and there are tons of things in here, pretty much anything that you would need in some kind of an emergency, and even more than that. I'll go over the contents of this, but it acts as like a self-contained belt pouch with all types of things in it. But it also acts as my ditty bag when I go on a hike, so it's a dual purpose. And here is going to be a fire kit, headlamp, compass, just anything. Really, it's a full 10 C's kit. If you're familiar with the 10 C's of Survival as taught by Dave Canterbury with Self-Reliance Outfitters, the Pathfinder School, all of those 10 C's are going to be in here. You know, I have a Swiss Army knife. Off the top of my head, I can't remember which one I have in there. Maybe the Huntsman, but just anything you would need. So this is a full contained survival kit, ditty bag, all of that. So I'll go over the contents of this in a separate video, as well as in here. This is my hygiene kit, and in here I have a towel, obviously some soap, some Bonner's soap, obviously a toothbrush, those sorts of things. So that's all contained in this small little kit, just hygiene. Right here on top, this is my Bushcraft Outfitters 10x10 tarp, sil nylon, super lightweight, and it packs down. It's just very lightweight. Seam sealed the middle seam, and also right in here on the top is actually a ground sheet as well. So I keep those both contained in this bag. This tarp, I really like this tarp. Right next to that, I'm gonna have my Cordage bag. This is in just another one of those mesh pouches, and I have a Ridgeline, a couple other hanks of this high visibility cordage, and a couple toggles, things like that, but just a small bag of cordage. Next to that, obviously, you're going to need some tent stakes. So in this little Dyneema bag, I have about 5 tent stakes, and maybe more than that, maybe closer to 7 tent stakes, because I also like to stake out my ground sheet so it's not flopping all over the place. So just some tent stakes in that bag. Right next to that, in another Dyneema bag, is my food bag. And again, I told you I have about 2 days worth of food in here. The only other thing besides food, obviously, is some drinks, some electrolyte drinks, coffee. I have a long Sea to Summit spoon, and then I also have a Sea to Summit collapsible cup. And I really enjoy having that. That way I can pour my hot water for my coffee in there and use my container to boil my water for my breakfast or my food, whatever it is I got going on at the time. And that's where this stuff comes in. So this is obviously just a Jetboil butane, isobutane canister, and that's actually just an extra one because the one I have in here I have used, so I always like to bring an extra one, especially if I'm going to be out for multiple days. Probably wouldn't need it, but in here, this is just the Tokes, what is this, the 750 milliliter, maybe? Anyway, just a Tokes titanium cup. And in here, all I have is another little Dyneema pouch with a lighter and my little titanium stove and another isobutane canister. So that's it as far as my cooking kit. Pretty lightweight. Down here towards the bottom, in this little REI bag, I have one extra shirt, polyester, something to that effect, an extra pair of wool socks, and an extra pair of underwear. That's the only thing I have in here. My Cocoon inflatable pillow. And let's see, I'll pull this out from down here. This has the little pouch on the bottom for your sleeping bag. And my sleeping bag is just the Kelty Cosmic Down 40 degree down sleeping bag. This sleeping bag has done me pretty well. I'm getting to the point where I'm just in general not a huge fan of the sleeping bags, especially the Cocoon style, because I move around a lot. I'm a side sleeper, and so I'm constantly going from side to side, especially on these pads. One thing I've noticed is, you know, throughout the night, once this side of my body kind of starts to fall asleep a little bit, I'll roll over, you know, so I'm constantly going back and forth to my sides, and you can kind of tend to get a little tangled up in these, but it does great, especially in this season where it's not getting too hot out, or I'm sorry, not too cold out. So it's a pretty good sleeping bag. I've used it for several years. And the only other thing is in this pouch here in the front, this bag does come with a rain cover, so that's always in there in case it were to rain. But this is everything, guys. So this bag has served me well over the last several years, and again, this is kind of the more honed in kit. 19 pounds, not much weight. So yeah, this is everything, guys. I'll get everything set up so you can kind of see what all I have going on. And other than that, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what do you carry in your hiking bag? Where do you think I could trim some weight? Are you interested in seeing what's inside of here? Even if you're not, I'm gonna make the video anyway, so. But yeah, I don't have anything else, guys. I appreciate the views, appreciate the support. Just wanted to get this short video out. I was hoping, again, to get this video out on the trail, but you know, sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. So I'm gonna replan that trip with my daughter, probably sometime in the fall. Obviously, we're gonna get out and do some camping trips, fishing trips, things like that this summer. But summertime is my least favorite time to camp. I don't know if that's true of you guys. What's your favorite season to camp in? The heat for me is definitely by far my least favorite season to camp. With the bugs, the heat, and everything, you know. Like I said, the trail conditions where the water can dry up, things like that. It just makes everything more difficult, in my opinion, in my area. So anyway, guys, if you like this content, please do me a favor, like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Thanks again for tuning in. God bless. Have a great day.